There were a few more bits and pieces going on that are interesting. They don't all fit together to tell a cohesive story, but we can give it a go. LEC has started, and if you think that maybe the great market correction isn't going to affect League of Legends, it's only going to leave LCS, or rather it's only going to harm LCS and it's going to leave everything else untouched, you're wrong. The great esports market correction is going to spare no one at any level of the game at all. This is the news, and this is another thing. I can make a video. Riot Games actually agree with me. Part 2. What's one of the things I've been talking about in esports for years? Why do we assume esports is a product for children? Why is everything so interested in moving towards catering for children, catering for teenagers, catering for Zoomers? Why? What about all the people that grew up with your product who are now in their 20s, their 30s, older, right? What about those people? Why is there nothing on the table for them? It makes no sense. Right? The whole point of the esports model was it was a branch of marketing, essentially, from a game that wanted to hook people in, and then it was a retention job that you retained by having content, storylines, things that interested you, and you would spend money to access those, theoretically. The difference being, the older you are, the more likely you are to spend money, because you got money. You should have. The young audience that they cater to, it's their parents' money. You know? Guess what? No money. And so I've said for years, they need to start focusing more on adult sponsorships. Why, for example, we've had like a handful of like alcohol sponsorships, like Bud Light, you know, or whatever. Why aren't there more? It seems crazy to me. We all like to get fucking lit. Sometimes I might want a beer and watch an esports event. Wow, isn't that crazy? Have a beer, watch a game of Counter-Strike, you know? But no, you never see any, there's no shots, no whiskeys, nothing. No tobacco products at all. Like, I mean, vaping, I guess I should say, not tobacco products, but, you know, whatever. Tobacco products will be banned in my lifetime. You just won't be allowed to have them anymore. The nanny state continues to spread its evil octopus arms across all of us, and we welcome its warm, sickly, sticking embrace, don't we? We all just love it. Now they're going to ban fucking vaping, right? But anyway, so they've already banned menthol cigarettes being banned, like by the Democrats. Are you mad? Anyway, whatever. So why not? Can't have them. Okay, what can we have? Nothing. You can't advertise nothing. You can't, none of the things adults would want. So it's crazy. Even, like, you know, for example, like where weed is legal, why... Stoners love video games. Why aren't we doing that? There's a synergy. No, but we'll be down the kids and the children, and it's pathetic. So I saw this, right? Obviously, this is being driven by the market correction because the type of sponsor you're going to get is going to go away. They're only willing to spend X amount of money every year. And if you've got a choice between sponsoring an esports product to reach kids or sponsoring like the number one influencer on YouTube to reach kids, it's not even a fucking contest. The YouTuber blows any esports product out the water. But this was the announcement, which hilariously, the announcement that was announced was wrong and had to be later corrected. But the original draft said they were going to raise the age of the competitor to 18 because that would be the legal requirement to have sponsorships that would be age-gated and 18 plus in the LEC. So this is in the Esports Insider again. Game publisher Riot Games has discussed the possibility of raising the minimum age required for players participating in the League of Legends EMEA Championship from 17 to 18. Riot Games originally stated in a blog post that it was changing its rules, with the reason for the change being it would help unlock new sponsorship opportunities for the competition's teams. However, it has now been revealed that the blog post was in fact an old version that was not meant to be published. The post has since been updated without the minimum age rule. Spoiler, they want to what that means is they want to do that, and someone's gone off half cock and published what they want to do before it's all been okayed by all the stakeholders. That's what's happened there. But remember, over in League of Legends, they probably got to run it past all the team owners as well, right? Get their approval and buy-in. All of the executives, The potential change in minimum age requirements does raise questions as to whether the LEC will look to loosen its restrictions on teams having sponsorships that target fans 18 or above on their jerseys. The likes of gambling and alcohol logo placements are currently prohibited by the publisher, while some, but by the way, their title sponsor at LCS was FTX. But woe betide, a licensed gambling sponsor is on an LEC jersey. Hilarious. The likes of gambling and alcohol logo placements currently prohibited by the publisher, while some alcohol sponsorships have been permitted in the past, notably the LCS itself teaming up with Bud Light. Gambling partners have been unable to appear on team jerseys and are prohibited as part of the 2023 rulebook. New sponsorship opportunities or verticals would be a boost for organisations, especially at a time when many brands are cutting advertising and marketing budgets due to an economic downturn. Some LEC franchises are already sponsored by gambling firms. GGBet, for example, is a partner of Team Vitality, albeit that deal is just for its CSGO team. The LEC is also undergoing huge structural changes, which we talked about for 2023, with the tournament moving to a 3-day schedule and a 3-split season. Moreover, the competition has introduced a new format that aims to provide more higher quality matches and has integrated the MENA region. Now, I'll also just add, there's two things going on here simultaneously. The way Riot Games are framing it is us, benevolent, lovely, wonderful Riot Games. You will notice, of course, Riot Games don't even stick to their own rules about sponsors. You know, telling TSM you can't have FTX, then they go out and get FTX. LEC, you can't have an alcohol sponsorship. Here's the LEC, brought to you by Bud Light. They're clowns. They're clowns. They're hypocritical, liars, frauds. They're clowns. It's Riot Games. They're in a cult. Right? They think everything they do is righteous and the right thing to do, even if they tell you not to do the exact same thing. Right? So, they're saying, it's to help our partners, because I guarantee the team owners have gone to Riot Games and said, we're getting fucking creamed right now for sponsor money. We're getting wrecked. Like, even some of the sponsors we have are just going bust, like all them crypto sponsors and fucking NFT sponsors. They thought they were going to last. You know, we're on our knees right now, so we need you to help us out. But I also guarantee as well, the person in the biggest position to take advantage of having more adult sponsors is the league itself. And so if they do raise the age, which, spoiler, it will happen at some point. Maybe they can't do it for this season, but maybe the split after. It'll be Riot Games that trot out the big marquee sponsor first. It will be Riot Games that go out and secure the Bud Light. As soon as they've got that sponsorship secured, the age will change like that. Make no mistake about it. If you don't think it's going to be like that, you don't know Riot Games. Then, also part of the great market correction, everyone's been making layoffs. Like, so many layoffs across tech and all these other things. You'll notice as well, all of these companies that have like, oh, come and work at this company, and you walk in and there's bean bags everywhere, and you go to the canteen and they've got red wine on draft and an espresso coffee machine next to every workstation and a pool table and a rooftop restaurant and all of this. You'll notice real quick that, you know, the whole let's be the best office to work in, let's be the best, that all goes out the fucking window when money's tight, and they've just laid off thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking people all across the board. And of course, it's coming to esports. If you listen to the next esports gospel when I publish that, it's all about like how many layoffs there's been. Entire orgs just shutting down before your eyes. Like United aren't the oldest org, but they've been around a decent amount of time. I think they were founded in like 2015 or something. United's just gone. It's gone. It's just gone. Like, that's that. Done. It's been coming for so long because of all the bullshit artists. And I feel sad for the United guys and orgs like that. But everyone is going to get got by this. So, anyway, Riot Games eliminated 46 positions amid shift in priorities. Again, this was Jake Wolf. He's had some great stories at the start of the year, starting out the Journalist of the Year award nominee as the front runner with the stories he's had already so far this year. You know, me, robbed last year. I don't even know if I'll be in it this year. How can I be asked? Worked my nuts off last year. Runner-up to an interviewer. Perfect. Anyway, Riot Games, the company behind some of the world's most popular multiplayer games, has eliminated 46 positions in one of its first ever publicised reductions in force amid shifting priorities within the companies. The layoffs focus primarily on its talent acquisition and recruitment departments, as well as its publishing arm, but also feature a few position eliminations in both its esports and support units. While one of the company's first reductions, it accounts for less than 1% of the company's workforce, which includes more than 4,500 employees worldwide. Riot Games implemented strategic shifts within a few teams to sharpen our focus in a number of areas, a Riot corporate affairs executive told the Jacob Wolf report in a statement. With these shifts, certain roles were eliminated, impacting a total of 46 rioters. This is part of our normal course of our business. We periodically make changes to our structure and our teams based on what we believe will allow us to deliver the best content and experience for players. We never make these decisions lightly and will always start from a place of wanting to retain rioters and have them focus on our highest priorities. While that's not always possible, it is our primary goal. The company said it is continuing to hire with more than 150 available positions posted on its hiring website, and that the position eliminations is not to make a permanent reduction in the size of the workforce. So, classic thing that goes on here, by the way, is if you can lay off people who are in positions that have become naturally superfluous, or maybe people that have, like, they signed early on and they have, like, insane bonus structures, and then you go out and, like, hire somebody externally and not have to commit to those things, or give them a salary that might be higher, because typically external candidates make more money, but, you know, their roles will be more widely defined. They'll do essentially more work in the role. You know, companies love doing that kind of shuffle all the time, but it is interesting that it's Riot Games' first time to have to make cuts, and 46 isn't a big number, but I'll wager there's more to come. And what I thought was interesting was, while they made those cuts, the LEC launched, and there were just a ton of problems on the broadcast. We've all been focused on how bad the LCS was going to be, and trust me, like, we've already seen the results of that from, like, the little pre-show they did where the viewership was terrible. I think it had like 16k at one point. It was like, you know, really, really, you know, all the chickens coming home to roost from the decisions that they made there. But this stuff was interesting. Obviously, I didn't have time to watch. I've been mad busy right now working on a bunch of other stuff. But my boy Monty did a tweet where he said, this is the reason why I try to avoid watching LoL live anymore. It's days like these. I watched the first game. There were multiple delays. I drove to the gym. I did Muay Thai for an hour, drove back, and only 2 more games have ended. So in 4 hours, there have been 3 League of Legends best of ones. And, like, the opening day, the LEC, was pretty bad. There was a lot of criticism from people in the chat talking about tech delays. You know, all of the replies to this are all like, you know, watching the show and saying how it was bad and it was a fucking disaster, and, you know, they had to keep dragging it out. It was a never-ending desk. And you gotta wonder about where Riot's headed, like, as a product, you know? It's like the LEC, now more than ever that they've made these fundamental changes to where they're trying to funnel the viewership, the LEC's got to be shit hot. It's got to be tight. It's got to be better than ever before. This is another dude here. As someone who does little bit heat praise in LEC's broadcast, today was an absolute clusterfuck. A botched start with frozen video and no sound to countless pauses. It's the worst start I can recall in recent times. Now, listen, I've done my fair share of esports broadcasts down the years. Day one's always tough. That's when the mistakes are typically going to happen. If you've done rehearsals, but you can't account for everything, people will be really tired, the nerves, you know, the jitters, anything can go wrong, you know, like it's the first day of the show. You might have a cable you didn't notice was fucked up, and obviously when things fuck up, you get to fix it. But everyone I talked to and everyone I saw on social media said that the launch day of the LEC was, like, uncharacteristically bad. Like, it was just and, like, Riot Games for years have, like, lived out on the fact that they produce the best esports show, like 100%. Like, that's what they do, and it just wasn't like that apparently, but to all intents and purposes this time around. So I'm keeping an eye on it, because I think not even Riot is going to be immune from the great esports market correction. I really think you're going to see some shocking developments this year. Let's put it that way. Watch this space.